Right, so now we have Jürgen.
So let me see. This is my. Do you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So hello, my name is Jürgen, and recently I started answering questions on Stack Overflow about Flask, obviously because I wanted to learn more about Flask myself. And it turns out 50% of the questions about Flask are not about Flask, and the other 50% of the questions could have been easily answered with a debugger. So when I then answer, hey, just set a breakpoint and have a look at the type of the variables or so, then I get back as an answer, oh no, this is only for super advanced developers, and this is either witchcraft. No, I don't want to debug. So I want to show you, I will give you a quick introduction to PDB in Python, the Python debugger, and it's not that hard when you have a look. So we have here a little Flask application. By the way, do you see my mouse pointer? Yes, okay. Yes, so we have here the Flask, little Flask application with a couple of routes. Here's the index route and the square endpoint. You just send in the number and you get back a square. So let's go to the root of the application. Here's the demo link. This is hard-coded to 2, so you expect 4. And oh no, there's an internal server error. So here you have a quick hint what's going on. Type error must be a real number. What a real number? Is it a half number? Is it a little bit of a number? We have to show, I have to see how what's in there. For this, we set the breakpoint so we can inspect the code and the current state. And usually you do this import PDB and fix a lot of typos. And nowadays you do just this breakpoint. When you restart your application, go back to the root, load it, go to demo. You see here it's not reloading here because it has paused here. And here is the next line which has to be executed, or will be executed, is the calculate square of number. And actually this is just the next line of the breakpoint. So what can we do here? We could continue, but we want to know what is number actually. And so we type in number and we see that's 2. That's what we expected. This is the input. But when you have a close look, there is a little bit something odd about it. It's the ticks. So let's have a look what number actually is. And number is a string. And actually, obviously, we want to calculate something, so we can't have a string. So we get out of the debugger and we have to fix it. Now, what could we do? We just convert it to an int. Usually, you would do something like this. But Flask has a better way. You just can add a converter up here. So let's restart the application, go back and call the demo again. Oh, no, it's 2. That's still wrong. So once again, we need to enter the debugger. You just write breakpoint again, restart the application, go back. And again, now we're in there. Okay, let's have a look here. There's not much going on here anymore because we have the number, we have converted it to an int. We have to get into this function here. How do we do this? We can just step into the function. Now we're in the function. When I type list or short L, I can have a look at the source code and calculate. The number comes in, the result is calculated, and oh no, the number is returned. So this is the problem. Problem fixed again. Let's have a look at the calculator and return the result. So let's start the debugger again and have a look here. I have forgotten to remove the breakpoint now. This was not intended, and what happens here? If you go to the demo, obviously it doesn't calculate and don't return my result because I'm here. Do we have to restart the debugger? No, I can just continue or C, short C. And then we have the result here, and it's 1.4, and obviously it's still wrong. It's the square root instead of the square. But actually, my 5 minutes are over, so you have to debug it yourself. I hope you can do it now. I hope you liked my talk. My name is Jürgen Gmach. You can reach me on Twitter or GitHub with my handle Jürgen00, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, just fire away or hit me up. Thank you.
That was super cool. You still had a minute left though. I mean, with your...
I know. I have 15 seconds. Maybe I was a little bit fast, yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Well,
It's
thank
okay.
you. Thank you very much. That was super interesting. So how to set up PDB?
So actually, you don't have to set up PDB because PDB is the Python debugger and it's part of the standard library. As I've written before, okay, I don't think I shared the screen. Do you share the screen anymore? Yeah, I share it. So there's no setup necessary. I think up to Python 3.6, actually, you have to write import PDB and PDB z trace, and they always mess this up, and then run your Python application, and in the terminal window, then it stops here and it drops you into the PDB shell, in the debugger shell, and you can introspect the code. Or nowadays, starting with Python 3.7, you just can write breakpoint. You don't have to import anything, and yeah, that's how you start. And the basic commandos are like step, so you step into a function, or a C for continue, or well, or Q for quit, and then you get out of the debugger. That's the basic the basic commandos. You can learn more, some advanced things. You can use your IDE for debugging here, and have breakpoints over here in Visual Studio Code or in PyCharm. There are many advanced techniques, but PDB is everywhere available. You can do PDB on your local machine, on the server, even on your colleague's Windows PC if you want something to debug. So,
Thank you. Thank you. That definitely answers the question. Well, thank you very much, Jürgen.
I would still have a comment about that. If you use this breakpoint or import PDB debugging techniques, you absolutely want in your CI pipeline to have a step that makes sure you don't have any left.
yeah, actually, I have, not in this demo application, but I usually run all my projects with pre-commit. That's a linter runner from Anthony Sotile. He wrote talks, he wrote everything like you need for Python development. And with pre-commit, you can have you can execute other linters like Flake 8 or Pep 8 or whatever, and you also have one pre-commit hook. It's called debug steps or something like this, and it checks out whether you have input PDB set trace, or a breakpoint. And I really have to use it, and I needed it because it happened quite often that I committed breakpoints and pushed to GitHub, and then Travis stalled for an hour or so. Yeah, that's a good tip, Nicolas.